Alright, we got the arrangement going this way pretty close now. Now we're going to set the arrangement going this way. So this is number 24 here. Line it up, and you can see that we got to set that right there. And it needs a little bit more right in here too. So put my gloves on, and we'll give that a little push. I forgot what that measurement was. Let me check it. Like I said, you always want to quantify it, because whenever you do something, you want to make an improvement. So this still needs to come up this way a little bit, and that needs to, if we roll this in like this, we got about a 3/16 gap right here. So let's work that spot first. We try to get that 3/16 gap to go away by just setting that arrangement right here. Roll that a little bit, right like that. Alright, so now that's down to less than an eighth probably, but we got to set this valley more. So we got to do that without upsetting that one. So let's see how can we do that. Let's try it on the fulcrum block. We'll push right from here. Number 24 coming up. Alright, that's closer. That's closer. I'm not going to dial them in perfect yet. I'm going to go down the line here and one at a time get them closer. Alright, now number 21. We're too high here. That's going to come down. And we're a little low in here. So let's see if we can dial a little bit of that in. You just got to take your time. Now, a lot of these people that, these different companies or individuals making panels such as this, and there's a big demand for E-type aluminum noses. So we're doing it in a way without a buck. We're just doing it with the flexible shape patterns and the external profile gauges. A lot of them invest the time in and make a fiberglass full surface model that's a buck, and it's just not regular fiberglass, which is only maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. It could be 3/4 of an inch thick or so, and they can take the panel and they could have it annealed. And what's taken us a lot of time to manipulate, they can take the panel, and this is how a lot of the panels were made. Where's my leather-faced slapper? And they can put that panel on that full surface reinforced fiberglass buck, and they can easily set all these arrangements just by tapping it like that, because the fiberglass buck acts as a die. It's a hammer forming operation, which makes it easier, which you have to do if you're doing production. But if you're doing onesies, this is the way you're going to go. You wouldn't spend the time making a reinforced undersized. To be proper, it would have to be one thickness removed from the original dimensions, one thickness of the metal removed, and then you have to reinforce underneath quite a bit. So if you're doing production, you're going to go do all those different things. So there's number 22. Number 22 is reading pretty close. Number 23, we're just going to try to dial these in a little at a time here. 23 is pretty close too. And 25 is right here. No, where is it? 25 is right here. Okay. So 25 is reading off here. So I'm too high here. And I've got an oil can over here, so I'm going to address that right now. It looks to me to be a little high right here still. And we might have to do a little heat shrinking with the torch right here, because it does look a little bubbly right here. The rest of it looks really good, and I think that was what was giving us the trouble before. But if I build this up, it might take a little bit of that out. So let me wheel that a little bit right in here. Release that edge first there. Take that wheel can out. So just that little bit solved the oil can problem. But I got a little bubble right here. The light line is giving me a little jump right here I don't like. And I can see an actual bubble right here. So here's what we'll do. I'll give you a little demo on how we bring that bubble down. Now a lot of people will panic at that, and that's a nothing fix. So let's cut for a second. I'm going to get the torch and we're going to shrink that down. So I have some 600 sandpaper on my soft pad. This is the little Harbor Freight grinder with my little adapters that we sell. And this is a really nice little slapper. I've got a video on how to make one just like it. So clean that surface up. These slappers, this one was made by from a car spring. It was a Duesenberg car spring, J. Duesenberg car spring. And generally car springs are about 40 Rockwell or so. They're not impervious to marking, so you got to keep dressing it all the time. 600 grit. So we got the slapper. Here's the little lead shot bags I make. They're on my website, proshaper.com. And we take the torch, I have a Smith's torch. I love it. I've had it for many, many years. I also have a little Miko. I love that little Miko too. So here's my spot right here. I'm a little puffy in there. You watch this. This will come up a little bit. You got to be fast at it too, because it dissipates the heat pretty quick. So you have the bag ready. Have your slapper ready. So it didn't impact the surface quality at all. And explaining again what happens there is, now this won't go fully down until it gets to ambient room temperature. You can spritz some water on, we'll probably do that. But it was already a little bit overdeveloped. When you put the heat in it, it pops up a little bit more. It becomes more malleable with the heat. And then when you're putting the pressure of the slapper hitting it, it actually pushes into itself like that, and it will come down because you've reduced the surface area. Now, if you do this with not a slapper, but with just a body hammer, you can go like this. It starts to come down with the body hammer blows. It starts to go like this, but if you hit it too much, then you start going like this and separating it, and you turn it. This is an Audi or a convex surface, and if you hit it too much, you turn it into stretch concave surface, so you don't want to do that. So you got to do this in small little increments to get the desired result of shrinking that down. So we gave it one application in the heat. It's probably about 100 degrees or so now. It's cooled a little bit. And we're going to get a spritzer. We'll put a spritzer on it with some paper towels. We're using a neutral flame. You probably could even use a plumber's torch or a propane torch on this. You're not getting it anywhere near annealing temperature or melting temperature. You can, by accident. I recommend you don't do it. So Mark got me the spritzer, and I give that a cooling. Now the ideal here is actually to shrink it a little bit lower than we want it, because there'll be a little bit of cleanup. There'll be some impact marks or whatever that you'll have to run the wheel over it again to smooth it out. And the valley is a little disturbed here. This is encroaching into the valley, so the light line is showing beautiful up to here, and then it makes this little detour over into this area here. So that's the dead giveaway that you got a problem right there. Always, if you read the light doesn't lie. Ask the PDR guys, paintless dent repair. They get paid the big money. This is a really good setup here, is to have two benches or two surfaces that you can straddle, and you don't have to be bending over and hurting your back. That's always a problem with me. So I like to get comfortable to do any of this work. And it takes some time. Remember, you're only going a few thousandths at a time here. The actual amount of overdevelopment is very small. It hardly registers on the flexible shape pattern. But it's right in here now. The circle was a little bit bigger before. Now it's about right here. So that slowly will come down. You never can rush this stuff. Everybody has patience problems, but if you're going to be a coach builder or a metal shaper, you have to get over that impatience. You have to have patience to do this craft. Actually, this worked out really well because this is such a common problem and people panic at that overdevelopment problem. And a lot of times they'll throw a panel away because they really don't understand that you can, just like clay, you can do whatever you want with the metal. Now Eckhold makes a machine that has a internal shrink die, so you know, if you're lucky enough to buy one used, you might be able to get one for under 20,000. If you're buying one new, it's going to be 50 or 75,000. And that shrink die will come in and shrink that section real fast. So you're going to see a lot of European shops will use the Eckhold tools. Nice tools, but they're very, very expensive. They give you more options. That's getting a lot better. Still a little high right here. That's looking good here, right here. I got a bulge right there. This whole front section is really nice now. Right here is good. It's bulging right here. The light line's looking a little better. So we'll slowly get it. It's not over until it's over. That's what Yogi said, I think. Got a little bit of a dimple showing up there. Not a problem. That light line's looking better. Right here. And the high spot will jump around too. It migrates as you're working it. So it came back over here a little bit. I'm going to hit that spot. That's a lot better now. Still not perfect, but a lot better. Migrated right into here a little bit. I'm going to get that now. Right here. The rest of this is looking pretty good. A little bit over here still, and a little bit here. It's coming down, but it's playing hard to get, reluctant here. A loose nozzle here. There we go. Another paper towel, please. Yeah, that's nice now. I still got a little bit right in there. The light line is greatly improved. Right over here, still a little. Right there. I'm going to give it one more for good measure here. It's a little dimpled here. A light wheel is going to smooth it out. Like I said, I wanted to over shrink it a little bit. The flow is really good now. But right there, I could stand to go a little bit more. We'll give it one more there. You got to really get tuned with your hands and your eyes to read the surfaces. That's such a major component of this craft, is being able to read the surface as you're working, reading it dynamically. That looks a lot better. And I'm going to wheel that just a little bit. I don't want to bring that up more now and get back in the soup again. So I got to wheel it a little bit, just smooth it a little. And then I'm going to have to remark the gauge locations and continue on with setting the gauges. So that's feeling pretty good now, except for I got a little dimple here and here, and that's going to come out. It might be a little high right in there. Let me see. Yeah, it might still be a little high there. I'm going to give it one more right there too. It migrated over there, I think, a little bit. It's feeling pretty nice now, except for that little dimple. So we'll wipe this down a little more. I got another paper towel here. We'll run it in the wheel a little bit and then check our arrangement once more. I want really light pressure now because I don't want to get in the soup again here. And we can't bite in our valley, so we got to go up to the valley without biting into it. We're really super low pressure. We just want to try to equalize that a little bit. And it'll come up and through here a little bit. We're one day before Thanksgiving and we just had a rain here and just heard some thunder, which is kind of unusual. We're having a little thunder. Better than snow. Alright, so that's smoothed out pretty nice. Still a little tiny dimple there, we'll get that. And we'll check the flexible shape pattern, plus we got to put the gauge marks in, so see what the flexible shape pattern says here. That's reading pretty nice. Put it on our marks. And put the gauge marks in again. So we'll check our gauges again. We got 52 was right here, I believe. Let me see. Where is 52? Right there. Yeah, that's where the valley is. That's not bad. We're gonna pop that valley a little more now. So that's pretty good. Now 25 was off. 25. With the pen right here. There's the witness mark. You gotta be on the witness mark. And that's the one that's still off a little bit. So we will see if we can take a little bit of the crown out of the panel here and lift up on this at the same time. Alright, 25 is a little high, but it's a little springy too. Nothing to be really concerned about yet. We'll check these again. 24. We still have to, yeah, see, it's still going to come up a little bit, and here it still needs a little more. So let's see if we can bring that up a little more. That was good. And then we got to put a little more crown in it right here. So as you get the area value tuned closer, and that required doing that shrinking right here, then we can set the arrangement value a lot easier. And this is a tough little panel. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than what it is. It's a real stickler here. It's not giving up an easy fight. It's fighting me. Okay, so that's fitting good. But I lost it here a little bit, so I got to push here. Now we're getting real close to dialing these in really good. So that's dialed in pretty decent there. That shouldn't be too far off. 23 is pretty good. It needs a little more right here. Now the gauge is reading that it needs a little bit more arrangement here, but you should always check to see if it has an area value deficiency there too. So we're just going to check that, and that's all reading nice and tight right in there, so there's no area value, it's all arrangement. So that was 23 right here, so we're going to push it right there. And you don't push just on the lines, you got to go either side of the line a little bit too. You focus on the line because that's where your information is dedicated, but it's all going to be adjacent to it too. That light line is looking pretty good. There's a couple little minor ripples in here we can get with light wheeling. Alright, so that's pretty good right there. Now we get 22. And 22 is reading pretty decent. 22 is decent. 21. 21 is off quite a bit. So we need a lot more arrangement right here. There's a little radius. but this edge is going to be tipped down, and that add greatly to the strength of the panel. We do that after. We got to get our surface quality up. It's not bad, but a little bit of wheeling should fix it. 21. Let's see what we got. All right. Looks like we still need more right there. Right there. I have to admit, this is a tough little panel. So I'm going to do the other one not on camera. I'll have to wrestle with that pretty soon too. Alright, this needs arrangement this way. A little bit right in here. That's better, but now I got to bring that up. So after this is 9C, and then we have the last panel, which will be 10. Hopefully we can do that a little faster, and then that will cover the whole mid-top section of the bonnet, and then it'll be all about fitting and welding. After we get that done, then we'll knock off the fenders, and then we'll do that lower valance section of it, and then finally we'll have a completed nose. As you can see, you have to have a lot of respect for the guys around the world making these things. There's a lot of work to them if you do them by hand. But there's different ways of doing it. Like I said, to boost the productivity on them. You're probably familiar with the Polish-made Cobras. I don't know what the company name is, but it was Kirkham Cobra that I believe was the initiator on all of that. They went over there, I think, in like 92 and 93, and got the Polish ex-MiG factory building Cobra bodies. And in the process, the business really took off, and they made quite a few of them and trained a lot of people. They use a hammer forming technique, and they have stretcher presses and a lot of big dollar equipment that was used previously for Russian aircraft. So that speeds things up. And then when you got 20 guys working in the shop, all working together on one car body, or one guy making the same panel over and over again, you get a little bit faster. And they're making them with hammer form techniques, which is a semi-die work. It's not doing surface development, you know, every square inch of it like we're doing here. It's a totally different craft, but it allows you to make a panel a lot faster. Everybody wants to make these panels fast, but again, it's always either labor or capital. That's the equation. So if you want to make it faster, you got to spend more capital. If you want to make it less expensive, from your own perspective, if you're making it yourself, you got to add the capital. I mean, the labor, rather. It's just ours. The materials are pretty inexpensive. To make the whole E-type nose, all the aluminum in it is probably 2 or 3 sheets, so it's like under $300 of material. And just add labor and stir, and you end up with an E-type nose. So that one's giving me a little trouble. So I'm going to try using the slapper on that. Let's see what that said. That's number 21. Oh, look at that. Came right in, but we lost it in the valley. So you get one thing correct and another thing screws up on you. Let's just a story of life. Well, that's a lot better. Still got a little bit more. Let's try it this way, maybe. There we go. Now we're there. Now everybody's in alignment here except for 25 was out. 25 was playing hard to get. Okay, 25 looks pretty good too. A little bit in the front here. Let's see what we can do with that. Well, we got to add some in the back and. Oh, I got it wrong? I got 52. I need 25. Where's 25? Yeah. 25. Here we go. Oh, okay. So it's just the back. That's fitting pretty good. I got to pull that back corner up. That we do right in the wheel. The edge is stretched a little bit too much, so I'm going to wheel in board here. There's a little bit of a loose edge there. And then now I'm going to look for surface quality. It doesn't look bad. There's a little bit of rippling down here. The light line's looking pretty good. And it should fit on the, let's just for tryouts here. Put it on here. Register it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Of course, it's one thickness removed, but it's laying down where it's supposed to be, right here. So we're pretty close right now, I would say. I just want to give it a little once over on the wheel here. And this wheel will tend to open up, so we might have to set that. See, because the diameter wheel is much bigger. It'll tend to open up that valley a little bit, but I got to run through there anyways. I'm just going to give it a once over. So I'm hitting the whole wheel, the whole panel with the wheel, and in doing so, it's super light pressure. I'm just trying to do a real fine planishing here, and doing closely spaced tracking. And what this does is it doesn't have any great effect on the area value at all. It's just smoothing that arrangement out. It'll probably screw up the value a little bit. I might have to just tweak it a little bit to get it right perfect. Alright, this edge here is a little loose. I'm going to pump that edge up a little bit. And I'm going to push this down again here. Because that probably took and opened it up. We'll just check with the gauge here. Let's see, number 24. Yeah, see, that opened it up quite a bit. So it opened that radius up. So we got to pull that radius back up again. So we want a crazy amount of time on this one. I just screw that up a little bit, get that with the wheel. So I probably have to fine tooth comb that again with the gauges, set that arrangement on the fulcrum block. But you got the idea, yeah. See, it's going to have to be pulled up just a little bit still. So I think you got the idea. The panel is there. Just in the process of fine planishing, I upset the arrangement a little bit. There's a few spots I still could chase after. We're really long on the video, but the panel is at like 95% of development or so. I got to pick up those few little spots, and I'm really happy with it. It's a really tough panel. It's a reverse curve panel, and we made it all with the flexible shape pattern. And thanks for watching. This was 9C. Sorry for the long delay. I'm hoping that's not going to happen again. And check out my website, proshaper.com. We have a special on right now until the first of the year for anybody who took my class before. It's a very nice deal I'm offering there. You check it out on the site. And we also have some kits we put together that the shipping is all combined on. So check that out, and we'll be back with 10A hopefully next week. Thanks for watching. Ray Schelin.